clean the burp. Ah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Don't say, did you fall? Please. You think I fall? I do actually fall down quite a bit. But when you ask me, I'm usually... I'm not, it's not one of them times. I need to be careful where I'm putting my feet. I need to be careful with my spatial awareness.
Your what?
My spatial awareness with what's going on around me. Dude, I'm like repelling gravity. I need to be careful. All right, it's Pisces season. It's definitely Pisces, and that's a little obnoxious. It's giving me weird shadows. That's better. I just took a nice hot shower, and then all the dogs wanted out early. So I'm a little blissed out. Oh, yeah. That's another reason, too.
Why's that?
Because I made these oatmeal mini chocolate chip can of cookies today.
You did today?
I did. It was a new recipe.
All right.
They turned out pretty okay. Except I didn't have baking soda. So I didn't use a half teaspoon of baking soda. I compensated with a whole teaspoon of baking powder, which it called for a half.
Oh.
So it made them like fall apart, like kind of crumbly. But all in all, for the first time, and I didn't use raisins. That's why I used mini chocolate chips and the oatmeal cookies. And I didn't use nuts. I don't use nuts. And I actually got some. They had some gluten-free flour, because I wanted to try that to see if there's any difference in the consistency in the binding with the canna butter, because it makes it greasier than just regular butter.
Oh, it's because
and it didn't yield as much as it, like, I'll get anywhere from 36 to 40 with like an ounce.
Wow.
In 2 sticks. That's why they feel so good. But these last 2 batches I did, I was just like, they wouldn't land. They just, there's like, yeah, they just circled the airport. They never landed. And I like the full body effect. It just really depends on the flour that I'm using. That's why I prefer indicas over sativas. Because my body is already, hey, Kev, man, my body is already in a heightened state all the time. I like keeping it even keel, you know? Oh. So, I only yielded, 12. I did, and I used the big oven too, which is cool. I'm switching up the operation. I'm outgrowing I've just made my little can of cookies out of that toaster oven since Oregon for probably 3 years now. I've been doing it. And I just have been giving them to people in the community, you know.
That's nice.
That are of age. I'm not going to give just nobody underage, you know. But just, you know, and they make people feel so good. Because there's so many people that are hurting. And they actually help me just be in the present moment. You know, they just like enjoy the time here with you and the dog, rather than spreading myself all over the place. So, I only got 33.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
I was
good.
3 short in the last dozen. So, but hey, they land nice. I used an ounce of strawberry cough. It is a nice fruity freaking flavor. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm a thinker. That's for sure. I'm noticing in the world there's not a lot of thinkers. 2 cars today drove by, or a car and a motorcycle, kid on a dirt bike, white smoke just out the back. I'm like, picturing,
Oh, wow.
Oil. Try it. I live in New Mexico. There's junk cars everywhere just because people don't maintain their shit. Oh, pissingness. Come on, Benno. Marge, you didn't want to hang out up there, Marge. Good boy, Benno. Been good up on top of the kennel. They're on the penthouse. Benny gets up on the pet. See, because like that's the kennel, but it's like covered with blankets and stuff. I just make stuff how I'd want it. If I was a dog, I'd want to be able to sit on top, and I want to be able to be in the cave underneath with the big old cushy pillows and stuff like that. And they're having a nice retirement. They're in their older years. They're getting up there. I just gotta make sure that their last few years on this planet is comfortable, and I'm not. Yeah, I need 4 freaking emotional support animals. You know, it's all well and good when they're young and puppies. You know, when they're young and puppies. I was looking at my photos by years. This is when I first got Benny. Benny's little, he had this pointy lip. Oh my God. That was Benny when I first got him. Look at that pointy lip, man. Now his face is all white. I mean, I have thousands of pictures of him. Like, he's a gorgeous boy, man. Somebody dumped, and this is little baby Tuck. This is my house when I lived in, look at little baby Tuck. They're just gorgeous dog, you know, when they're young and beautiful, and then they get old, and then people are like, no, I don't want to. Artie Pants. He looks the same. He's got more gray in the muzzle, you know. I mean, they've given me. This was Sassy, dear sweet Sass. That's Sid Ray. He died shortly after this. That was hard. I'm a death Abdullah. I just love things and then help them on to the next phase. I was thinking about earlier that. I was thinking about my dear sweet Noble. I did a video about him called My Dear Sweet Noble. No, it's called My Noble Prize when I told this story about him. Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know, people are kind of the same way too. It's like when they're young and youthful and vigor, you know, they serve a purpose, and then they get old and they just kind of get discarded. I'd like to see things change, you know. And shit, it's just weird, this narrative of these people that aren't even getting old. Yeah, I mean, it's like they're in their 80s and 90s, you know, but they still play this game. They still like dress up in these fancy outfits, and they wear this makeup, and they like have drivers that take them to where they do their said job. Oh. But they never really accomplish anything. Some of them are actors, some of them are politicians. They're all full of shit. They're not like all, you know, I can't look at any of those people and say, you know what? You are a true authentic, because they are made up. Their collections, the data collections, their data points that they have taken in, none of it's practical knowledge. Political science isn't, I mean, it's all crap. It's all reindeer games, you know? And they make so much money, and they're just unuseful human beings. Nothing they do is useful. And it's like the ego, the psychology of the majority of mankind it's dissolving. I mean, people are so, it's just bizarre. Everywhere people sees that there's a problem with homelessness and drugs and things like that in greater metropolitan cities and countries. I mean, America is a third world country now. It is. It is no different than places in India. And once more people start getting the opportunity to smell what fucking stench human beings are, and they think it's bad. Like here, where I live, they have to close the dump on Saturdays because they can't get anybody to work on Saturdays. It's like, when did people get so freaking choosy and picky on what they're gonna do When did all these people that sign the back of the paycheck start? It's direct deposit, huh? Is that when it got soiled? People forget who the bosses are. I mean, there's just like work ethic. Rest in peace. Along with the 11th tradition, rest in peace. All of these things that were once a part of the planet are just no longer a part of the planet. Yet people are still perpetuating these ideas. It's really quite wild. So how I'm feeling, because I got more. I was just telling Mom. I said, Mom, I got more water and air in my chart, and I got my Aries sun. I said, so I'm steamy, Mom. I get steamy. And Mr. Iskey says I'm a little firecracker.
Yeah.
I said, that's because, because I talk shit, right? I talk a lot of crap. I do. I speak in matters of facts as I'm witnessing something happen at like a grocery store or any place, and I'll just like do the commentary, and the person that I'm doing the commentary for will fucking get so pissed at me because I'm just calling them out on their shit. That's all. I'm not saying they can't act the way that they're acting. I'm just commenting on how they're acting, and people don't like to be told how they act. There's been times in my life I don't like to be told. There's been time in my life that I needed to be told. So it all balances out. So I took a nice hot shower, man. I noticed since I'm so thirsty. Not even before I ate my cookies. It's not the cookies. And when people do eat edibles, it's important that you gotta drink freaking a lot of water because it dehydrates the heck out of people. Which one is this? I have the Oregon cup. I made a mocktail for Mom. Mocktails with Ma. I put like cranberry juice, like this much cranberry juice. But this cranberry juice I got is like almost thick. You gotta almost water it down. It's too much for me. So like that much cranberry juice, and then it was like that much fruit punch, and then that much cherry Sprite. It was pretty good. It was pretty good for a. Oh, Kev, man, you haven't. I said something in a video the other day. I did get your email, and I will email you back. I just have been ever since freaking. I don't know. I have been completely unmotivated to really do much of anything, but what my everyday day consists of, which is quite a bit. I'm pretty busy. Idle hands, man. And if I eat too many junk, my thing is now I'm gearing up for spring, because I got a garden I get to work in. So that's my poor man's P90X. Plus I still do my dumbbells. I'll do those all the time because when I get frustrated, I do those. So, but I was thinking about that today, is that because they plowed it last year, and I was out there the other day looking, and the soil looks real good. A lot of nutrients and stuff. But yeah, Kev, man, I will respond. I'll deflake here pretty soon. I get a lot more fire when Aries season hits. I was trying to explain it like I get lethargic in Pisces season because of the energies anyway, and there's so much stuff going on. I'm just like, brr. And then plus I was like 10 months. I was pretty well past the 10-month mark. I guess it's a lot more common than people think. Well, now it seems like babies are all born in incubators and labs and shit, and now they're doing like male, like you get to pick your color. They already been doing that crap, you know. You get to pick your, what genes you want your kids to splash around. It's so bizarre where we're headed. It's just it's very inorganic. And they're going to pass it off as organic, and it's not at all what God intended. So I'm just going to keep watching the freaking show unfold. I went off on a little tangent and then got my sidetracked a little bit. I got a garden, and it's always good to put your hands in the dirt. And so I already have it planned out. I'm going to have Mom come out and sit under the carpet, so she's out of the sun, and the trees are going to start getting the leaves soon. And it's just, it's been real hard the last 6 years. Life has been really, really hard. And I've done videos that whole entire time, consistently putting myself out there, knowing that one day, seeing that how hard life was going to get. I saw it coming. I knew it was coming. I mean, you can see in my videos, I talk about it, the old ones and stuff. And so going through it, I mean, it's been perpetually difficult. And my personality is of the site from just how I am, just how God made me special, right? Well, then why am I not like anybody else? Why can't I find, because God made you special. That's a bunch of crap. Anyway, it has not been easy, but we have been given the grace to keep our family together. I've been really in that gratitude today about that, because it has not been easy. 'Cause 5 dogs, a cat, my mom, on less than like $1,800 a month, moving from Salem, Oregon, to Arizona, to Taos, New Mexico. I don't see a lot of other people telling stories like, I see people's backgrounds changes, but they're living that best life. They're living that best life. They're going around freaking 100% just doing everything. If something is shadowy, they just bounce out because it ain't love and light. And so things get ignored. And see, I'm part of that shadow stuff. Everybody is. We all got that shadow in it. It's how much of that dark wolf are people feeding, see? And there's so many people feeding that dark wolf. Every time people freaking pick something, make an unhealthy choice, more than... hey, it's okay to have freaking cheat days and stuff like that, We're supposed to take care of our soul sack, and somewhere along the way, people got the wrong idea, and more people just started, eating their feelings like every day instead of like, family pizza night every other week or something. It's just, people just self-wills have just been running around. I've lost friendships because people saw how that I was just going around doing whatever I wanted, and I didn't care how anybody felt about it. I didn't care if anybody got hurt or if I got embarrassed anybody. I didn't care. That's all their emotions and feelings. It's all on them. That's what people have told me my whole life. Your reality is your perception. So if you're miserable, you have to change everything about your life. I'm like, dude, I just want a place to be with my mom and my dogs. It's everybody else that doesn't want me to be in a place. So I just get to freaking suck it up. Take what I get. you know? I watch a lot of people's YouTube videos, and I'm like, where are their stories about their sacrifice? About how they knew how their life was going to be for somebody else outside themselves, you know? Now they're going to start being parents, and we'll see. There's a lot of people on this planet that shouldn't be parents. My parents, I think my parents knew. I think they both knew that they because see, they were one of those fire relationships. See, I come from a whole line of fire. I don't even understand how people can question why I'm not a freaking Spitfire. I don't even know. I mean, I was like, Mom, you got like five planets in like Sagittarius. She's like almost half. She was fun. You know, she's way mellow now, thank God. Maybe I'll mellow if I get old enough. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Who knows? But and then Dad. So Mom was Sagittarius. Dad was Aries. Don't know what her parents were. She was adopted. Think she's from here in New Mexico. That's how we end up in Taos, is because the mountain called us here. It's never on my radar. It's really quite remarkable story I have, and I think I got a pretty good way of telling it. So, end up here, and, okay, so, and then on Dad's side, his dad was a Leo and Grandma was Sagittarius. So it was that fire, you know. But fire burns. Fire burns. And it flashes out. So, anyway, I was their parting gift, and I was not. I don't know. That story is going to unfold still. Anyway, so there's a lot of people that don't have fire, so evidently I'm scary to them. I have met a couple chicks lately, like the chick at the store. She's what is she? April 14th. And then there's another a gal at the vet clinic. She's an Aries, but I think she's later, like April. She's third decadent. I'm second decadent. See, because people act different in decadence. Because you have like the first, like the first sign Aries. I'm Aries, right? The first decadent, though, they got little seasonings of Pisces because they're right next to Pisces. So they got energies that are like Pisces. And then I'm the second decadent, so I'm like, Aries. You could tell my eyebrows. I got Aries face, man. I got the horn. Anyway, I mean, I could tell people's signs. By I'm gonna start asking people their signs, because I'm starting to freaking see the shapes and stuff. Anyway, but Mom used to have a book on it. That sucks that she don't still got that, but So, okay, that's right. So, third decadent, Aries, they get inklings. They're like, this is how I see things. I don't know how other people interpret stuff. Whatever. But they're a little bit, like, more grounded because they got, like, Aries and Taurus because they're closer to Taurus, and then on and on and on. So, the decadents have different flavors. And I was, for about a few days, on Facebook, I became a part of a group about Aries, and I was like, God, no wonder people can't stand them, or they're like, oh, you're an Aries? Oh, okay. Because they've had bad experiences with people that are Aries. But, you know, anybody balanced or imbalanced, you know, I think that's what dictates an experience. I keep hearing more and more. I hear more and more of these astrologers and stuff are talking about how the placements are like, you know, more and more people are you know, they're waking up to their spiritual side. You know, they're going to come more, you know, opening up their hearts more and all this stuff, you know, as they keep promoting themselves in other countries in conferences that they want you to pay thousands of dollars to attend just the conference so they could stand up there in their robes and their, you know, their rurus and, you know, hey, look at me, you know. I mean, it's self-wills run riot. More of the same. More of the same. I see it all over the place. But, you know, I wouldn't even go to Sedona. I have no reason to go to Sedona. Ever. You know why? I don't even need, oh, yeah, oh, look, oh, okay, so I could go to a place. A lot of places, the way I feel is that my desire to go to a place is based on, I don't know, an energetic exchange that needs to be absolved with that land someplace in my energy field. Yep. Yeah. So, you know, and I'm one of those old souls. So I don't need to, you know, I've lived a full life. Lots of them. So I don't have the desire to freaking put myself in different places that other people put and then stand there and take a picture of me. I'm not that vibrational frequency. For the ones that are. Good for you. Good for you. So, I called today's talk Transactional Awareness. I was thinking about that this morning. Since so many people, there's a lot of people that like to talk about people like me. Like the crappy childhood fairy. Like anybody that has like have like some crazy story, you know. See, the thing of it is most people don't talk about, they don't put their stuff, they don't go on YouTube and say, when I was 10 months old, I was raped when I was raped when I was a 10-month-old baby. I read the police report when I was in junior high. I also want people to know I went on. I never let it stop me. Look at all the, look, here's one of my Air Force rewards that I got in the Air Force. And, you know, because in whatever environment I ever am in, I'm going to find a way to make the process work. And I hated the military. My whole life I've been one of the, nobody's going to tell me what to do, but you know what? It came to the point that this life is not just about me. I promised Mom when I was 15 it would be her and me, just like the Golden Girls. So I was impressionable. Early programming. I was in high school when that was on. You know, always, you know, we'll take care of each other. All that, you know, family takes care of family until I needed help. And then my brother said, she's your you know, he told me to freaking put her in a home and get rid of 2 of my dogs. And I was like, you know, but my dogs have given me more love and support than you have in my whole entire life. You know, I got these little packets in there. I was thinking about that the night before I went to Operation Iraqi bullshit. The night that I was deployed before to Greece. He called me to make sure that I signed the financial power of attorney or whatever, so that if something happened to me, the money that I owed him would go back to him. He would get paid back. Yeah. Yeah. See, that's the thing is, like, when I was young, I made mistakes. I was a shit. When I got older, I made mistakes. I was a shit. As I get older, I make less mistakes. I'm less of a shit because I understand what I put out there comes back to me. You can't hurt people. You can't, you know, all this stuff that goes with growing up. You're supposed to shed those behaviors that keep you withholding and fearful and rigid, not become more closed off, and that's what people do. They either grow more in spirit as if they're given the opportunity to get older, or they grow more in ego. And that's why we got freaking, these freaking crack society are getting wider while the freaking elite are having more fun. And it's just this imbalance, and it's just going to get all because they're, because it's so. I just saw a thing on a news excerpt that popped up that said, why so many women are getting freaking plastic surgery in the Ukraine during the wartime. Oh, and I'm like, because it's all freaking bullshit. Fake is fake is fake. I think people need to, not mess with what God gave you. And putting all that fucking Botox Barbie and shit, people are freaking have left my feed because I'm like, dude, don't tell me you're a real person because you don't even look real. That's not real people. Dude, all the chemicals and stuff they're putting in there. And I remember when mom had me, they cut her uterus in half and took one ovary out. So that's when they created the whole false hormone industry in big pharma by mutilating women, unauthorized hysterectomies, creating an imbalance because every month those eggs went to go do, but hey, it was only half of it, had nothing to talk to, broke the circuit. Freaking the body went crazy, hormones going crazy, it made it real hard for us. I bet it made it real hard for a lot of people. I wonder what they ever did with all those eggs anyway. Their stem cell research and their crazy mad science and their freaking chips in their brains. And it's like, why don't you ever change a tire? You ever help a whole old lady across the street? You ever help build a house at Habitat? That's crap too. But it's like, what are these people doing to help people out beside themselves? Less and less people are doing that, so we're going to see the cracks of society, but they've been shitty. Why don't they just freaking haul off the garbage? Why do there have to be, give them dumpsters. Give people places to live in their fucking cars. At least help accommodate the people that are freaking already have it hard. Oh, well, they do drugs. Freaking most of the administration of this freaking country is on coke or freaking something, or they're drunk all the time, or they're out of their minds just the same as the junkies. They're just walking around in $10,000 suits, flying all over the place, going, these stupid freaking people, we got them fooled, yeah. So transactional awareness. So all these people, go around talking about, autistics and nacho neurotypicals. Here's one in real life, and so this is my take on things. From all the things that people have said or tried to say that I was, I think that's why mom kept us moving around, because they kept trying to they put autistic on, but then they'd they want to add extra letters to who they said I was, and I'm like, nah, I'm not good with your OCD, because I will never do anything perfect. There are conditions change too much in life, so I'm not gonna get myself. I used to do that when I was a kid, but that's more stuff I grew up out of because it didn't serve me or people around me. See, we're supposed to get better as we age, not fatter, dumber, and stupider. I guess people didn't get that memo. They should have opened that email from IT support. How you doing today, Ma?
Good.
It was windy here today.
Yeah.
And then I did that. See, I did everything all different. I was all wishy-washy. I carbonized. The word always escapes my brain. the flour last night at like 8 to 9. And then I just put it like light toast on like 200, like 100, no, not even that, like probably 150 degrees, and let it just light toast for like a half hour, 40 minutes, whatever I'm in the mood for. So I started the butter last night, and then I just let it go all morning, and then I stuck it in the freezer. Oh, maybe I'll use the picture for the thumbnail tomorrow. I was having Mom. Oh, Benny, look at that. Oh my God, he was such a. I let him hit that pointy lip though. Oh my God, I gotta show the people at the vet. Like, oh my God. He was, and his little pointy teeth, those pointy teeth, he still does it. He hasn't, if we're like playing around and he's being all, look, I'm so cute, look at me, all that, right? He'll freaking nip me in the back of me. I'm like, cheater! Ow! Cheat! It's hard, sucks. But they all have freaking the coolest personalities, man. They have just, they have sustained me, and we are in the best place. I mean, it's like when we had to leave Oregon, when we were asked to move out in August of 2020. I mean, I've already been saving money. I'd already been looking for a place, but then it was like, okay, now you got till like October 1st or what it was, or I don't know. Stress! Fire, Oregon's burning down, fires everywhere. I mean, it's been, I mean, and so what I did was when I meditate, because I meditate, I try, I'm not sleeping really good. See, if I sleep good, it's like I meditate all night long, but I'm not sleeping good. So I have to work harder to meditate during the day. I got to take the time. And sometimes I get busy and I don't get the opportunity. I am taking the opportunity. And so it really helps to not sweat the small stuff when you tap into the freaking collective energies of the universe. But when I don't, I get a little edgy, I get a little too immersed in the reality of my perceptions of things. So, but like Luna, she's sitting in Mom's chair. She always takes Mom's chair. She's like, I got it fair and square. She says I could have it. Oh, she's getting so white in her little face. Oh, they're just, oh God. And then they've driven me crazy. Because, like, the last few years... Oh, anyway. So, like, when I'd really have hard days, and I'm just like, okay, I just try so hard, and the energy's pulsing through me, and I'm just trying to keep fear away from me, and just trying to stand in my faith and know it's going to be okay, but it's really scary. It still feels really scary. And I don't have anybody come give me a hug and tell me it's going to be okay. Even though I know it's going to be okay, but sometimes that's nice. I didn't get a hug the other day, though. So, I like giving people hugs, too. I'm a good hugger, I think. Putting somebody's heart next to you, that's like connection. How many people aren't doing that? I'm still not seeing people put babies' freaking feet onto the earth, either. It's shortly out. Like, why? I mean... all this like spiritual, this new age crap is erupting, and I'm not seeing any of the things that I've come to believe really enrich people's freaking spiritual experience in this human sludge. Because of their free will, of what they're choosing and how they're... But people are finding out, people are finding out. Things are going to get more and more exclusive, My vision is like inclusion, more inclusion. I think we're going to see a lot less. We're already seeing it, and I see it in like media and stories, like where a guy had to, or maybe it was a YouTube video, a guy had to move the campground. See, that's the thing is like people are going to have like, you know, these, it's, if you're a D-bag, people aren't going to want to deal with you. So you aren't going to be able to hang out there. And they're going to get to, you know, say for whatever reason, it's, things haven't opened up because people learned the last couple of years, you know, make people do anything and they'll do it, you know. And it's always been right to right to refuse service as far as I've been concerned. I've been turned away, you know. I freaking hated that. How about that? How about us folks that got past freaking hating ourselves, got past hating ourselves because society told us God hates gays. And now they're doing this weird freaking queer freaking thing. It's all weird, man. That is not what God intended, you know? What I've absolved to is, yeah, I'm a lesbian. I don't like women. I like one woman. I just don't know who she is yet. And I've acted accordingly my whole entire life. How many people can say that they've acted accordingly? Yeah, I've acted out. I've made mistakes. You know, when I was younger, I'd try and steal a kiss here and there. I'd get drunk and ballsy and be like, I'd think that she'd like me, but then she didn't. But I really thought she'd, you know, and then sometimes I thought that she didn't, but then she really did. So it's just all so confusing for me. And then, well, I don't drink anymore. And I don't concern myself with any of that stuff because I am too busy doing other things that matter. Chasing sensations, you know. I mean, I get it. You like somebody. Oh, here, I like you. Here's an orgasm. I get it. You like them. You want to do. But it's not even like, the world isn't even like that anymore. It's more about control because so many people have so many holes. They got so many empty spaces emotionally and things like that. And they're just going all over, just trying to find places that, you know, chasing sensations to make themselves feel better because physically things feel good, but you know, after a time it don't work. It's like alcohol, it's like anything else that helps people escape, it stops working. So you got to find healthier alternatives, or you're just going to end up dead like my dear sweet sister Jessica did on September 23rd, 2022, living that lifestyle, you know. So, everybody has choices. Everybody's a good and bad example, too. Yep, so. I feel like I've been running my about 42, 43 minutes I'm at. Hi, PETA. Hi from Australia. You know what? And then this is like trippy, too. I'm getting hot. I'm gonna wrap it up. Is that my disaster prediction? I don't have Space Observers anymore because he handed it off to somebody else, and so it's somebody else is supporting it. I went as far. I was with them until the subscription. Going from $2.99 a year, from getting like, okay, an earthquake here, you know, a solar flare or whatever, you know, whatever, here and there, to like now the one I have. Penny, you're so freaking cute. Oh my God. Look at Tuk Tuk too. He came from a puppy mill. Roku in the background. Oh my gosh. My chicken little monkey, my caramel little monkey. He's a lemon beagle. The mean man that had the puppy mill slammed his tail in the gate. What was I doing? Are you asleep, Mom? Oh. I looked up because when I thought about the title this morning, I gotta finish that. when I thought about the title this morning, Transactional Awareness, you know, because people are like, my whole life, because my mind works like a computer. I'm like the Good Doctor, I think, is a good, they do a good representation of how I navigate through life, because I see in pictures too. And I'm really impressionable. So, here's another one. And I just had been keenly observant my whole entire life. It's just not acceptable in most situations. People don't like hearing my observations unless they're okay with themselves. And I know that because I'm the same way. So, I paid attention to a lot. And I didn't get my needs met a lot when I was a young girl either. Like emotional. Like mom didn't know what to do with me, because like she would try to make me feel better, but then I would remember all the times that she was mean. So it felt like a lie. So oftentimes you see these little autistic kids like flashing around. It's like, don't act like you care now, because I heard you talk to the cleaning lady, and you told her what a headache I am. So don't act like you like me when you don't. See, this is all stuff I've grown past. See. And I look around and I just see all the people that are still stuck in their shit. And it's like, it's impacted society in a really weird way. So yeah, I do keep track. I keep track because I can give, especially if it's like there's a connection. I'm just giving, giving. You know, and if it's receptive, okay. But what I learned is give, and then wait and see. You know, but when I feel compelled and I think about somebody, I'll give. You know, but I get so worked up and so spun up in frequency that the higher frequency, the more you're thinking. You're up there in the higher thought process, see? That's why I'm not seeing the ascension yet, because people aren't getting in the higher thought processes. They're still down in, farts are funny, Ville. So when I see that shift change, then I'll believe it's happening. But until then, well, we're still like 100 years out from Aquarius. It's just going to start getting more and more weird, because more and more people are, that's another thing, is like, I did the blue hair and stuff like that was when I was 15. It ain't I'm a natural. I'm just about stuff that's natural, except for my tattoos. See, I explained my tattoos in other videos. I believe our tattoos are scars from past lives. And so when you have people, but there's a book I read when I was like 10 called Ray Bradbury is the author, called The Illustrated Man. See, because when I was young, I was reading books that the adults read. It's like I went from like Go Dog Go to, The Illustrated. So, I don't know. I've always been a deep thinker. One of those too much people. Every time somebody's like, you're too much, I'm like, you're not enough. Sorry for ya. Sorry you're splashing around in the shallow end. I know more people are going to be rising in frequency. They're going to start thinking more like, I know it's just how things are. I get it. But I hope nobody expects me to go to fucking Sedona. That's supposed to be sacred land, and they totally commercialized that too. Made it to some bullshit. Nothing's sacred anymore. Yeah, there is to me. There is to me. There is to me. Lots of things are sacred. Yeah, so. Anyway, I think I've rambled off long enough. I really wasn't feeling like doing a talk earlier, but then I ate my cookie. And then I ate another, took a really hot shower. But yeah, I keep track because it's not good for me to do too much, to put too much energy where it's not going to get reciprocated. And I always thought it was really interesting, you know, it's like, well, if you know I'm doing so much and you know, it's like, oh, because I've heard people say it. I'm like, I could line all these people up and they could just like say it all at the same time. You keep track. And I'm like, yeah, I keep track. I can tell when I'm putting more in to whatever social engagement we have than you are. And I found out that was an imbalance in me. So, daily disciplines help with that. And I don't do yoga and stuff like that. I don't. I have my own breathing practices. I'm a tapper too. I tap a lot. See, all these practitioners are like, give us a bunch of money. I'm like, dude, money's not even real. Here, I'm trying to just teach people stuff I know to make them feel better, because life is hard enough as it is. That's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.